don't forget to subscribe for more reviews. Please also like. Thank you.
Hello there everyone, Tom here again. Today we have the privilege of taking a look at the TDW, the Transform Dream Wave TCW06. This is their upgrade kit for Power of the Prime's Volcanicus. So I am going to give you guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and put this on them, and I'm going to give you a size comparison before and after. So bear with me. Alright, so I have done my scale comparisons, and now it's time to crack the box open. This is the front of the box, side of the box, back of the box shows everything that you get, side of the box, bottom of the box, top of the box. So, cracking the box open. Looks like there's 2 layers of stuff in here. Oh man. And directions. Empty box. Okay. So, looking at this, we get our instruction sheet, which details what all we do, various different things that we can do with them, and how to apparently assemble stuff. So I'm going to need that. Let's see here. We get this baggie right here, which has weapons and a big, you can't see, weapons and a big black sword here. Okay, I'm just going to set this aside. We get this gun, we get this gun, we get this gun, this sword, Grimlock's blaster, we get this gun, another sword, another sword, and I don't know if I showed this or not, but we get this sword as well. Okay, that's what came out of the little baggie. I'll do those later. Okay. Now, in this clamshell we get another Grimlock blaster. We get sword, 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 big sword, piece, I guess that's a crotch piece if I had to guess. We get this piece right here, which there's apparently 2 of, and we get, oh man, this piece right here, which looks like an alternative crotch piece for Grimlock. Alright, let me get a little closer here so you all can see. Here we have this piece. It's got some gold right here, it's got some gunmetal right here, and it hinges out. Okay, we've got this piece right here, which has red paint and gold paint over this gray plastic. We get this piece right here, which looks just like missile pods of some kind, and then you get 2 of those. Now, let's see here on this other one. Oh, shoot. I really did not want this to come off. There are divots right here that correspond with divots in the clamshell, so it's quite secure. We have a Volcanicus foot. Looks like there's guns underneath, something. Looks like it also comes apart. We'll play with this in a little bit. Obviously we get 2 of those. we get whatever the hell this thing is, but it separates as well. It's this. We get this piece right here, which I imagine goes onto Volcanicus some way, shape, form, or fashion. We get new wrists and hands. These are, they're not, yeah, they're pinned. They're pinned right here, and they remind me of feral Rex claws. Alright, two of those. And the last thing in the package is this thing right here, which I imagine covers up Grimlock's chest. Alright, so what I need to do now is I need to figure out exactly, according to the directions, how to put this stuff on, and we will go from there. So for the sake of argument, I have gone ahead and disassembled Volcanicus, and I'm probably going to do this in pieces just so I can make sure I get it right. We start with this, we move his head up, and there are tabs right here and a clip right here. The tabs are going to go in right here, and the clip's going to go around his waist piece right here. So just go ahead and get that on there. And one of the things I've noticed is this is quite wide, so I'm going to have to flex it just a tinch to get it around. Just something to be mindful of. There we go, and that is solid and secure, and that is now on there. We can lower that down. So the next steps of what we're going to do is we're going to work on his shoulders, and we take these two pieces right here, and we all know how this clips in together up here. Go ahead and move these up. Rotate your arm, you'll have to move it a little bit so that you don't break it, so that this is pointed up. Find the one of these that corresponds with the correct side, and this one has an R. This clip right here, or this divot, is going to go into this clip where it went into here. So you just, I got backwards. You just do it like this, and let's see here, get in there. Oh, that's because I'm doing it. It's got to angle back a little bit. And it just goes in and latches into place right here, just like that. The other one is the same way. Find it and just work it until it goes in where it's supposed to go. Rotate this round, pull this down, excuse me, rotate it around, try your best not to break it, and pull that down. Now, I see an issue here right off the bat, and that is there we go. You got to open the hand up enough to allow for clearance for this post. If you don't, she's not going anywhere. Don't be that way. Sorry about the off-camera, folks. I have a hand that just absolutely refuses to move on me. It's just so daggone tight. Okay. Just open it up. Rotate this around. Make sure there's enough clearance so you can get it in there. And that'll come down and that'll come down. Alright. The last piece we have is this back piece. And what it does, it has a couple of clips right here that are going to correspond to these holes right here, and then these are going to mate up with those. So the first thing you need to do is get this on here, which is easier said than done. Then just connect your pipes here. Alright, and here we have the full-size form, the new form of Torso Volcanicus. The crotch piece here is pretty simple. It's got a little couple of clips here. the clips are going to go into these holes, and that top piece is just going to go over top. You just kind of put it in place and it will kind of lock in there, just like that. To do the legs, you take this piece right here, split it in half, take the legs, fold them down, rotate it so that the tail is out, and this piece right here, like I said, it comes into pieces. This becomes a clip that'll go around one side of the leg, and this goes around. There's a pin right here, if y'all can see it. This comes around, hooks in, and that pin just kind of locks it into place. When you need to put your combiner bot in, you just move that pin out of the way and hook it in there. See? Just like that. This is the back crotch piece, and it's got a hole here and 2 places for the thighs to go in. Excuse me. When this is together, it's going to be extremely stable, but getting it there is a pain in the ass. Right here is the pin that goes in, and right here are the ports. So if you're anything like me, just be prepared. You're going to cuss a little bit at this thing. I'll try not to do that on camera. Try being the optimal word here. You just put this on, and then you just kind of, you got to flex the plastic a little bit to get it around. Yeah, it's not, I never have liked flexing plastic. Oy! Let's see here. And then you got to keep that thing in the center, which sounds simple, but really isn't. And you pull this down, you adjust, get that on there, and you move it, and the thing doesn't do right, so you have to redo it, all the while trying to keep the thing in proper orientation. Get in there, you little not happy person. There we go. Now that's in there. Alright. Now we adjust here to get this round. Come on now. There we go. That one's in. That one's in. It's together. And now I have to put all that stuff back on there. But it's there. And I mean, these legs are solid now. They're not going anywhere. The hands and feet operate exactly the way you would expect them to. Take out the old, put on the new. It's a nice tight fit. Ratchet left and right. Let's go ahead and just knock these out. No, don't be that way. Very tight ratchet. Okay, there's that. The hands here, again, do just exactly like what you would expect them to. Although I have to point out, they are much smaller, surprisingly, than the Power of the Prime's hands. Man, that's a tight tolerance. Get in there. Man alive, this is far tighter than what you would expect. I shouldn't be having this much trouble. Let's try this other one. Part of the problem is we've got a hinge here, and you can't really get good torque on it. I got that one in. Okay. There we go. So that one's in. You can see the articulation in the fingers. And it's got wrist thing right there. I'm going to try this one more time here and see if I can get it. Hey, if you all see me struggle with it, then you might know what you're getting. Go in there. Ow! Son of a very nice woman. Yeah, let's go with that. Alright. Don't you say a word, Nemesis. Alright. Come on now. Holy Mary, Mother of God. Shit, fire and save matches. I mean, oh, son of a... Alright, I'm doing this one off camera. And bam! That's what I had to do. I had to get it off camera to get it to work right. One thing I have noticed is that they separate, and I guess they form a gun, would be my guess, for one of the bots of something, some kind. I don't know. I don't really care. But there we go. Alright. So, now let's assemble whatever his name here is, Volcanicus. And we'll have to take these off to get this on. And I immediately see an issue with this tail being in the way. Let me see here. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to go. That's the way it's supposed to go, but it'll never work right. So I may be doing this 100% wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and... Well, that won't work that way though. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and get this on here, and we'll figure out how the proper way to align it is here in a minute. Alright, there's that, there's that. Let me put this back on here so that we don't forget. This comes around. It would help if I used the right one. It's not supposed to be this difficult, folks. I think part of this is just me making it difficult, more difficult. Ooh, I like that. Alright, maybe that's how it goes. I don't know. We'll find out here in just a second. And I'm pretty sure we'll all find out together whether or not it works. That works pretty well. That works pretty well. Alright, so let's move on to the arms here. They just come in here the way you would expect. Oh, you scurvy dog. Quit it. And you. Alright. He's got his elbow bend. Very tight ratchet there. Okay. Bring in the other one. Get the spider web off of it. Let's see here. And he goes in right there. Alright. And he is considerably beefier than what he was before. He has a sword right here. This is the big orange one. Let's see here. And it's got two tabs on either side that are going to plug in, wrap these around the fingers, and it should just plug in here, right up here at the top, if old Tommy Boy's done it right. Which there's never a guarantee of that. Well, that's where it goes. Oh, okay, it just snaps in. And this is an issue with the figure. And he's got limp wrist. That's not a good sign. But he can strike a pretty good pose. So, I'm going to pause right here and I'll do my scale comparisons. And of course, he can dual wield his swords. Although, one of the issues with this set, just right off the bat, is it's not the set's fault. It's making the best use that it can out of the bots that it has. And unfortunately, the bots just aren't all that stable. They're your standard Hasbro combiner stuff. But since we've seen Volcanicus in his new form here, and he's bigger. Do I have my ruler handy? No, I don't. But he's bigger. He's bigger. We just need to remember that he is still made up of Hasbro parts. So, yeah. I think the next thing I need to do is find a ruler and measure him, and then we'll go to the individual bots and see what they do. So to the top of his head, he's coming in at, I would guesstimate, about 11.5. Shoulder to shoulder, let's see here. We're looking at approximately 9 inches. Depth-wise, obviously his torso, well, his feet maybe. His feet are just under 4. And his torso is about 3.5. So I'd say his feet are the largest part on him. Okay, so here's Sludge, and he came with this little gun right here. This set gives him these two right here. And they just plug right in. Just like this. Snarl here, he gets those 2 little missile pod things that fit into the shoulders of Grimlock, and they just go on here just like this. And now he's all armed up. Swoop here gets these right here, and they just plug in to this port right here. They're supposed to anyway. Yeah, that's this port they're supposed to go into. That's the only one that would support it. Granted, it's more like a depression than it is a port, but you know, we could always put these back here and they'll do just, I say that. Yeah, they'll go in the back here just fine. Well, this is not working the way that it's supposed to here, folks. What the hell? Huh. Huh. I mean, you could always move the wings out of the way and put them in right here. And then bring it down like that. So, I mean, he does have storage for them, but that can't be what they had intended. I mean, that's just me finding a way to make it work. That can't possibly be what they intended. But I don't see any other way of connecting these together other than that port right back there in the back. Huh. So I mean, I guess he can have weapons, but that's not the way the directions show. Point in case, the directions show them going right into that little divot right there, but they won't fit. Or if they do fit, maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I fully grant that's a possibility as well. I always say that I could just be wrong. But there you have it. So to be able to do slags, we have to disassemble the foot. And the way we do that is it's pinned in right here. You just kind of unpeg them. Take the guns here off. And I imagine one of them can use the guns. The guns, I mean, they come apart as well for whatever use you may have of that. Me personally, I don't really expect to have a use for it, but yeah, I digress. Let me just reassemble like this, and then they're together. Okay. Actually, you could put this up here like this if you so desired. I don't desire it. Okay, so these toes come off, and what you effectively have here is this shield. And if you notice, they even molded an Autobot, a place for an Autobot symbol. Slag here gets a shield. So his big thing is, oh, you gotta be kidding me. It goes in theoretically to this hole right here on the top of him. And I have to tell you, these tolerances are way tight. And I'm actually concerned about maybe stress to the point where it breaks. Yeah. Technically, he's supposed to have a shield right here. And for the purposes of this review, I'm not going to break the thing just to show you all. So, yeah. It's just going to kind of sit there. And I don't know, now would be a good time to find out if these other two, if they kind of fit together or not. I don't see any way of hooking them together. So I guess he just gets one. While we're talking about disassembling things, I had mentioned earlier that the hand comes apart. You split it, it's just connected right here, as you can see. Bring this around, and that actually moves back. I didn't realize that. Huh. It's on a double hinge here. Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, you've got handheld weapon somebody can use. Do you all even see that? These come back like this, and I guess you could make that out to be a gun if you really wanted to, and that's one of the hands. Or you could, there's lots of articulation here, you could make a little claw thing. So that's actually kind of interesting. I can't seem to find anywhere specifically where this is supposed to go on one of the bots. So taking the parts off Grimlock, we have this thing right here. To convert it, all you do is fold that up, and one of them can hold it as a shield. These parts for the legs, real simple. Fold those in, put these together, and at least in theory, yeah, they'll come together, and you've got a handle right here. One of them can hold this as a shield. Now, for the three pieces that make up the back, you get this, and you get the front and the back. This piece was just on his, this is his front crotch plate. It comes in and sits right here, like that. Okay. This piece, the directions show it's sitting on Grimlock's back like this. There's a problem. I can't seem to figure out how to get this thing to connect and combine so that it'll do that. It will connect and combine if you turn it upside down. It does that just fine. The problem becomes it doesn't, you know, these things are supposed to be pointing forward according to the directions, but this way works. You just hook this to his back like you were hooking up the crotch plate here, and yeah, there it is. You take his weapons and you put them in here into these holes like this, and here he is all armored up just like that. And here's your group shot with all the armor on the dyno modes. For purposes of showcasing how everything can be held by the figures, Slag here will be giving us a demonstration.
I don't know what's real anymore.
Do 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 do. Final thoughts wise, I think the question everybody wants answered is whether or not this thing is worth buying. I think it really depends on your perspective. If you are looking for a Volcanicus, a rather cheap version of Volcanicus to go on a shelf and not be touched, played with, or moved, then yeah, I'd say it's worth it. If you're not a hardcore collector who doesn't have, you know, the Toy World set or the G Creation set, then I would say it's worth it. I have the G Creation set. This does not replace it, not in any way. The TCW set takes a set of Hasbro figures and turns them into something that's more passable. I know Perfect Effect has a set out. I wasn't horribly interested in the Perfect Effect set. I've had several of those, and I like, you know, the upgrade kits, the SNDs, and all those, the Beelzebubs. But right now the Perfect Effect ones are going for about $40. That's without a box on the aftermarket. This, I think I paid, it was either 60 or 70 for it. And ultimately, the big question is it worth it? Should you buy this? I mean, isn't that the reason that we're watching this? Just to see if it's worth it. I like the look of it. I like how it bulks him up. I like the added articulation. The instructions are pretty decent for what you get. I would have liked a little bit extra, but just because some of it I had to guess on. But otherwise, yeah, I think it's worth it. Not to someone who's going to expect this to turn into a $300 combiner, $300 to $500 combiner. You're not going to get that. But what you do get is enough to make it worthwhile. And I think this is going to look really good on my Legends scale shelf. Thank you for watching, and I hope that helps. I'll see you at the next review.
Thank you for watching my Papa's channel. Please subscribe and like. Thank you.